Episode 3. When silence enters sleep. Sleep is supposed to be a refuge, a place where the body rests and the mind disconnects from the world. Sound fades naturally when we sleep, thoughts slow, awareness softens. But in the cases you are about to hear, silence does not behave naturally. It does not wait for sleep to begin. It follows people into it. In earlier episodes, silence appeared in rooms, buildings, roads, and entire communities. It learned how to react. It learned names. In this episode, silence does something far more unsettling. It stops needing the external world at all. These cases document what happens when silence enters the place where thought and memory blur, where perception loses structure, and where the mind is least capable of defending itself. This is where silence becomes most dangerous. Case 1. The night the room fell asleep first. The witness described falling asleep normally. There was no fear, no anticipation, no unusual sensation. The bedroom was quiet in the expected way. The hum of distant traffic, the faint sound of air movement, the subtle noises that signal safety were present when they closed their eyes. At some point during the night, the witness woke. Without waking, their eyes opened, but their body did not respond. They recognized the sensation immediately as sleep paralysis. They had experienced it before. What made this different was the sound. There was none, not reduced, not muffled, gone. They could not hear their own breathing. They could not hear the bed beneath them. Even the internal ringing that usually accompanies paralysis was absent. The silence was complete, absolute, and focused. Then they realized something deeply wrong. The room was not silent. The room was asleep. The silence felt external, like a condition imposed on the space itself. And within that silence, there was a tension, not a presence in the traditional sense, no figure, no shape, just awareness directed at them. When the witness finally regained movement, sound returned instantly, but sleep was impossible afterward. In the weeks that followed, silence began arriving before sleep, earlier each night, as if learning the timing case to the dream that removed sound. This case comes from a man who described a recurring dream that changed gradually over time. At first, the dream was ordinary, familiar places, conversations, movement. Over months, the dream began losing sound. Voices became inaudible, though their meaning remained clear. Footsteps no longer echoed. Eventually, the dream contained no sound at all. The man realized something unsettling. The dream did not end when silence appeared. It continued functioning. Events unfolded normally. People reacted, but sound was unnecessary. Then one night, the silence crossed a boundary. He woke up inside it. His bedroom was visually normal, but the silence from the dream had followed him. He said the transition felt seamless, as if waking was no longer a barrier. From that night on, the dream no longer occurred. The silence remained instead. Case 3. The bed that responded. A woman living alone reported that silence behaved differently when she lay down. During the day, sound functioned normally. At night, the bedroom absorbed noise. Her phone speaker produced vibration without sound. Her voice failed to travel. Even movement felt muted. She tested it once. She whispered her own name. The silence moved closer, not visually, not physically, perceptually. The bed felt heavier. The air felt compressed. She stopped speaking entirely. From then on, silence appeared. Every night, always after she lay down, always closer than before. If you are listening late at night, this is where most people notice changes. If you enjoy long-form psychological horror like this, consider subscribing, liking the episode, and sharing it with someone who listens after midnight. These stories continue because people continue to experience them. Now we go further. Case for the child who never dreamed again. The child was 7 years old. His parents noticed he no longer described dreams. When asked, he said he no longer went anywhere when he slept. Doctors found nothing unusual. One night, the parents heard him speaking in his sleep, not audibly, but internally, as if the words were felt rather than heard. The room grew silent immediately. The child sat up and said one sentence, "It's quiet now." It stays. After that night, he stopped reacting to sound entirely while asleep. When silence entered the room, he responded before anyone else noticed it. Case 5. The night shift that never heard IT coming. This case involves a group of workers sleeping during daytime hours. They reported a shared experience. Silence arrived simultaneously in separate rooms. Dreams aligned, awareness overlapped. Several individuals woke into silence at the same moment, each reporting the sensation that something had synchronized their sleep. None of them could explain how they knew this. They simply did. Afterward, silence appeared whenever they slept at the same time again. When schedules diverged, the silence weakened. It had learned how to follow sleep patterns. Case 6. The place between waking. Multiple witnesses described the same state, not asleep, not awake, a threshold where thought exists without narrative. In this state, silence does not feel external. It feels internal, like the absence of mental sound, no inner voice, no memory noise, just awareness without commentary. Witnesses said this was the moment silence became permanent, not frightening, not dramatic, simply present. They stopped noticing it, but it never left. Sleep removes sound naturally. That is why silence enters there first. It does not need to force itself into dreams. It waits for the mind to lower its defenses. If you have ever woken up and felt that something arrived before you did, you are not imagining it. Others have felt the same thing, and they all report one final detail. Once silence enters sleep, it no longer needs the night. It can arrive at any time, and once you notice it, the hardest part is forgetting that it noticed you too.